deep underground, in rooms without windows, under lights that never turn off. Men rewrote history with shaking hands and sealed documents. Projects labeled Operation Midnight, Program Echo, the Entity Protocol. Files censored with black ink, pages ripped out, witnesses relocated or erased. Some experiments ended abruptly. Others were never meant to end at all. This isn't the plot of a spy thriller. It's the chilling reality of declassified government projects that push the boundaries of science, ethics, and even reality itself. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on some of the most bizarre and terrifying clandestine operations ever conceived. These are the stories that were never meant to see the light of day, the truths buried under layers of secrecy and denial. Get ready, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about the hidden world operating just beneath the surface of our own. Let us start with a name that sounds like something out of a science fiction novel. Project Stargate. From the 1970s all the way to 1995, the CIA, and various branches of the U.S. military poured millions of dollars into investigating psychic phenomena. We're talking about remote viewing, the alleged ability to see a location, person, or object from thousands of miles away, using only the power of the mind. Imagine a psychic spy sitting in a quiet room in Maryland, describing the intricate details of a new Soviet submarine under construction in a secret Siberian shipyard. This was the goal. The program recruited and trained a small cadre of individuals who claimed to have these abilities. Declassified documents reveal stunningly accurate viewings. One remote viewer, Joseph McManigal, famously described the interior of a secret Soviet facility with such precision that intelligence analysts were left speechless. He detailed cranes, large metal spheres, and specific structural elements that were later confirmed by satellite imagery. Was it a lucky guess? A series of coincidences? Or did the U.S. government truly weaponize psychic powers? The official story is that the project was terminated because the results were unreliable, but the files are filled with hits that are hard to ignore. Skeptics argue it was a waste of taxpayer money, a Cold War folly. Believers, however, suggest that the program didn't end. It just went deeper, became darker, and was given a new name. What if the most successful remote viewers were never made public? What if they're still out there, watching? Now, let's turn our attention from the mind to the body, and a project so infamous it has become a cornerstone of conspiracy lore. The name itself sends a shiver down the spine. Beginning in the early 1950s, the CIA embarked on a massive, illegal program of human experimentation, all in the pursuit of one thing: mind control. They wanted to create the perfect truth serum, to develop methods of erasing memories, and even to program individuals to carry out actions against their will, like a real-life Manchurian candidate. The methods were horrifying. They used hypnosis, sensory deprivation, psychological abuse, and a cocktail of drugs. Most notably, LSD. Unwitting citizens, from students to hospital patients, were dosed without their knowledge or consent. One of the most tragic cases is that of Frank Olson, a U.S. Army biochemist who was secretly given LSD by his CIA colleagues. 9 days later, he fell to his death from a New York hotel window. His death was ruled a suicide for decades, but his family fought for the truth, eventually uncovering the horrific secret. The full extent of MKUltra's horrors may never be known. When the project was exposed in the 1970s, then CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of most of the files. The few that survived paint a terrifying picture of a rogue agency operating without oversight, using human beings as guinea pigs. What other dark secrets were burned in those fires? The official records are gone, but the ghost of MKUltra still haunts us, a stark reminder of how far power can corrupt. From mind control, we journey to the skies. Project Blue Book was the U.S. Air Force's official investigation into unidentified flying objects, or UFO. From 1952 to 1969, they collected, analyzed, and filed away over 12,000 UFO reports. The project had two public goals: to determine if UFOs were a threat to national security and to scientifically analyze the data. The official conclusion, stated in the Condon Report, which led to the project's termination, was that there was no evidence of extraterrestrial vehicles or advanced technology. Case closed, right? not so fast. Many of the project's own investigators disagreed. Hota Allen Heinecke, the project's chief scientific advisor, started as a debunker, but slowly became a believer. He famously said, "For the Air Force to completely ignore the evidence we have compiled is absurd." He pointed to hundreds of cases that were labeled unidentified cases involving credible witnesses like pilots and police officers, radar visual sightings, and objects performing maneuvers that defied our understanding of physics. There was the Washington, D.C. incident in 1952, where unknown objects repeatedly buzzed the Capitol building, scrambling fighter jets. There was the Mantell incident, where a pilot died chasing an object he described as metallic and of tremendous size. Was Project Blue Book a genuine scientific inquiry? Or was it a public relations campaign designed to quell public panic and debunk sightings? While a more secret group studied the really compelling cases, the recent UAP hearings in Congress suggest the latter. The phenomena never went away. The government just stopped talking about it publicly. Now, let's go even deeper, to a project that sounds like it was ripped from the pages of H.P. Lovecraft. Imagine the government trying to open a portal to another dimension. This is the core of the Philadelphia experiment legend. The story goes that in October 1943, at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, the U.S. Navy attempted to make a destroyer escort, the USS Eldridge, invisible to enemy radar. The experiment, based on a unified field theory supposedly developed by Albert Einstein, went horribly wrong. According to the legend, not only did the ship become invisible to the eye, but it teleported from Philadelphia to Norfolk, Virginia, and back again in a matter of moments. The crew supposedly suffered horrific consequences. Some were said to have been fused to the ship's metal hull, others went insane, and some simply vanished, never to be seen again. The U.S. Navy has consistently and vehemently denied that this experiment ever took place, calling it a complete hoax. They explained that the stories likely arose from a misunderstanding of standard degaussing procedures, which makes ships invisible to magnetic mines, not the human eye. But the legend persists, fueled by supposed eyewitnesses and a man named Carlos Allende, who claimed to have witnessed the event from a nearby ship. Is it just a sailor's tall tale that spiraled out of control? Or is it a cover-up for an experiment that tampered with the very fabric of space and time, with consequences so terrifying they had to be buried forever? The lack of any official documents makes it easy to dismiss, but in the world of black projects, an absence of evidence is not always evidence of absence. Finally, we arrive at the most secretive and tantalizing location of all. Area 51. For decades, the U.S. government denied its existence. It was a blank spot on the map, a ghost in the Nevada desert. We now know it as the Groom Lake Test Facility, a detachment of Edwards Air Force Base. Officially, it's where advanced and experimental aircraft are developed and tested. This is the birthplace of the U-2 spy plane, the SR-71 Blackbird, and the F-117 Nighthawk stealth fighter. These aircraft were so advanced, so otherworldly in their appearance and capabilities, that they were almost certainly responsible for many of the UFO sightings in the region. But is that the whole story? Whistleblowers like Bob Lazar have come forward with incredible claims. Lazar asserts he worked at a site called south of the main Area 51 complex, where he was tasked with reverse engineering crashed extraterrestrial spacecraft. He described flying saucers powered by anti-gravity reactors, fueled by an element not yet synthesized on Earth. His claims are highly controversial and have been widely debunked by skeptics who point to inconsistencies in his background and story. Yet, he has passed lie detector tests, and his descriptions of the facility's inner workings have an eerie ring of truth to some. Could the development of stealth technology have been a cover for something far more extraordinary? Is Area 51 simply a test site for our most advanced technology, or is it a cosmic garage where human scientists work alongside, or on technology from another world? The truth remains locked behind miles of desert and the threat of deadly force. From psychic spies and mind control to UFOs and interdimensional travel, these declassified and rumored projects paint a picture of a world far stranger than we can imagine. They show us that governments are willing to explore the very edges of science and morality in the name of power and security. While some of these stories may be embellished or entirely fabricated, others are chillingly real, with paper trails leading right into the heart of the military-industrial complex. What we've discussed today is just the tip of the iceberg. What other projects are still active, hidden under layers of black ink and national security? What will be declassified in another 50 years? These stories remind us to question everything, to look for the truth that's often hidden in plain sight. They prove that sometimes the wildest conspiracy theories are closer to the truth than we dare to believe. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadows. If you found this as fascinating as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the unknown. Stay curious.